welcome to the Gameoff Podcast. I'm Andrew Paulo, aka Solitalker, here with co-host
Brent Langevin, aka Arcadia.
And we're here with a special pre-E3 hype and hot take extravaganza. Gonna go through all of our crazy predictions and make a lot of really insane hype type. Can't figure out how I wanted to phrase that. Get ourselves hyped up about things that are definitely not going to happen.
Yeah, episode 5 is the episode we jumped the shark.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. I'm already calling Shenmue 4 announced preview footage.
Oh, God. Yeah, that reminds me of when people were taking bets as to whether Final Fantasy 14 was going to come out before 13, because there was only, 3 or 6 months between the two games. Anyway.
So, I guess we're just going to go conference by conference, and maybe even cover some of the ones that aren't doing conferences this year, which that seems to be the hot thing this year, is to not show up at E3.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a year, it's an in-between year, because it's sort of like the lame duck of console generations, where everybody knows a new console is coming out next year. No one wants to release games this fall because they're pretty sure that a console is going to be announced in the next week or two. So they don't want to be that game that's coming out for consoles that nobody's buying anymore.
And they don't want to even consider the fact that doesn't happen with PC games.
No, PC.
Yeah, I know. It's a weird thought. Someday.
Oh, yeah, but let's start talking about the Microsoft conference. I think they start at 1 p.m. in one of the time zones on Sunday, and that sort of kicks off the briefing, the conference cycle.
Yeah, and with the number of things that we already kind of have an idea that they're going to announce, it should be an interesting tone setting for the rest of the conference.
Yeah, especially with no Sony to sort of complement what they're trying to do, because they're basically going to have first dibs on any sort of big third-party announces. They like you said, they're going to control the entire tone of the conference, and yeah, very excited to see what they got.
Yeah, we know a little bit that there's going to be some Fable 4 stuff, right?
Well, Fable 4 has been nothing but rumors for 2.5 years now. It's strongly hinted that Playground Games is developing Fable 4. They've sort of had job postings for an open world RPG, and it was announced that Fable is in the hands of another renowned English developer, which there's not really that many of. And yeah, all signs point to
Playground have only done Forza, right?
Only in the last few years, yeah. I don't know if they were doing something before Forza Horizon, but that's been their mainstay since Forza Horizon 1.
I thought that was kind of what they were doing, because I know that Playground was from Codemasters and someone else. It was kind of a merging of studios, or of talent from studios. So I don't know if they had done, if anything they had done non-Forza was all actually being Playground Games.
Yeah, because I think there was a lot of Criterion guys that ended up at Playground too, but I don't know if it's any management from either of those two teams. But it's a pretty stacked and storied team of racing people, racing developers. So it's especially interesting considering these rumors are for an open world RPG, because they prove they can do open world in a racing game, but does that translate to RPG? Gonna find out.
I mean, you basically, from what I remember of playing Payday 2, which I think was built on a racing game engine, that
was it?
I think I remember reading something like that. Man, I'm gonna get. If we had listeners, I'd be getting called out right now for saying something that's probably completely nonsense. But I thought I remember reading that Payday was built on a racing game engine.
I mean, I'd believe it.
Yeah, I would too.
That team's insane.
So if they can build a heist simulator out of a racing game engine, I'm sure Playground, who I feel are far more capable than Overkill were,
Yeah.
can make a Fable game, it's got to be better than Fable 3.
Yeah, well, hey, so I liked Fable 3
Yeah,
up
yeah,
until the second half. It
yeah.
was it was a really good Fable game, and then it became a totally different game, and I don't think anyone stuck around at the end.
The last like 20 minutes of a city build or a city management simulator.
Yeah, yeah. It was like the last like 4 to 10 hours of the game, which is like something like 30 to 40% of the overall playtime.
Yeah,
Like it was an interesting thought experiment that didn't, or not a thought experiment, an actual experiment that didn't pan out.
that's a very kind way of phrasing it. Interesting thought
Mm.
experiment.
Yeah. Well, it's not the only game that's rumored to be at the show. Obviously, like Halo, or for Microsoft's conference specifically, obviously Halo's being rumored to actually have gameplay this time around. They only showed CGI. The boss of Xbox, Phil Spencer, also tweeted out that there's going to be 14 first-party titles in the conference, and the rumors are saying that there's going to be three of those are going to be brand new IPs being announced on Sunday.
Part I'm most interested in is 14 is a heck of a claim and a heck of a stable to bring, and having 3 new IPs should be really interesting.
14 games is more than first-party studios that they have, so that means that if every studio that they owned was going to announce one new game, and three of those were going to be new IPs, I think they have like 12 first-party studios, and several of them are still like in the like tail end of development, like Obsidian. So like there's no way at least 3 or 4 of these teams are announcing games. So I don't know where these games are coming from.
Is it possible that we're going to start hearing like this is also when they announced that they've scooped up some more developers?
And here are the games they've been working on. So
Yeah.
We've also scooped those games from the publishers of those games.
Yeah, I'm sure Ninja Theory's got something interesting going on, whether it's a follow-up to Hellblade or an entirely new game. I don't know, but that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting them to just come out and say, here's 5 of the developers we bought and the games that they're going to put out for us.
Yeah, they just bought them a year ago now too. That's the other big part of this. Like I only see like 4 or 5 of their teams having anything worth showing, and like 2 of those games are Halo and Gears.
Well, we could be getting some more remasters like they did with the Age of Empires stuff. So technically that is
Age of Empires 4 is coming.
So an Age of Empires remaster and an Age of Empires 4, those are technically 2 first-party titles.
Mm-hmm.
Are they counting every game in the Master Chief Collection as its own first-party title?
I really hope that doesn't have a presence on their conference. I think the way they announced that for Steam was like a real good way to do it.
Yeah.
Now it's just time to move on.
Yeah, it's time to focus on new stuff and not retread old victories.
Yeah. All right, here we go. So Compulsion, who just released We Happy Few, they're not going to be announcing anything. That game just came out like 9 months ago.
I can't imagine that they're going to be announcing anything for quite some time.
Yeah,
that was a mess.
Yeah, maybe like a sort of a second coming of that game. That's the only thing I could see, but that would also be under not 2K, Gearbox's umbrella, because they publish the core game.
And wouldn't that necessitate Gearbox admitting that the original game wasn't great? Which I don't
Randy
see.
will never admit to making a mistake.
No,
in his entire life.
You can't have a rebirth of a game that you don't admit was dead to begin with.
What else we got? Coalition's obviously going to be talking about Gears. Mojang talking about Minecraft. Ninja Theory we already talked about. Playground we already talked about. Rare. I don't see anything on the main stage about Sea of Thieves because they just released a huge patch like last week.
And they don't really have anything, at least not that I've heard, rumored in development.
Oh, actually, Battletoads. Battletoads
right.
was announced. That's hype. That is the hype train.
That has the potential to be something really good.
Yeah, I dutied a little bit when that got announced. I'm ready to duty again when it's more than a logo, similar to what we'll be saying about Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, that's okay. So
That's all we
Battletoads,
got was a logo.
I forgot about that one. That's good.
Mm-hmm. 343 is going to be talking about Halo for sure. In Exile, I've been hearing rumors about Wasteland 3. That'd be an interesting announce.
I had heard
There's a
that,
good
but I had
chance that's
also
coming.
heard like a maybe an entirely different RPG, not in the Wasteland series.
Well, I mean, they do Wasteland and what was the other one? Nordheim, the
Yep,
depths of the deep.
the other one.
It's like, yeah, basically the same game, except not. It's not their Fallout franchise. It's their Elder Scrolls franchise.
Right.
Um, Obsidian, they have Outer Worlds already coming out this year sometime, which is not published by Microsoft, so they're not going to be talking about anything. At least I can't imagine there are. As far as I know, that's a one-team studio. I'm sure they're 100% focused on Outer Worlds. The Initiative is like they're still building that team, as far as I know. That's their quadruple A team in SoCal.
Yeah.
Um, every once in a while, I hear about a new hiring. I think it was established like 2 years ago, so I can't imagine that they're ready to premiere a quadruple A game after 2 years of staffing up, essentially. Turn 10, we're 100% getting a Forza 8 announce.
Oh, sure.
That's I think that puts our total up to like 6. Yeah, and that's pretty much all of them. So like, I think we have a safe guess at least like 6 of these games. I mean, if there's 3 new IPs, we have no fucking clue what those are. I haven't heard anything spilled about that.
Yeah, maybe they're. Would you consider a new IP if they're pulling an IP from way in their back catalog, like some '90s? If they bring back Hover from Windows 95
I
demo
mean,
disc.
well, maybe. No, I mean, I don't consider Battletoads a new IP, and that falls deep in that category.
That's true.
So,
Yeah.
no, I don't think so.
No, what do you think? You think we're going to get any Project Scarlet?
You know, so after the success, and I meant to fact check this, but like 3 years ago, I think it was 2016 when they announced the One X. It was the same day that they announced the One S, I believe, and they found that both have sold like tremendously well. So like them announcing the discless Xbox a little while ago may sort of hint that they wanted to get a boost in sales before they announced a new console.
Yeah, I could easily see, especially with Sony not really making a presence, I can't imagine Sony's doing any kind of hardware reveal. So I can see that being next year.
Yeah. Well, so what I was getting at is the One X was announced a full year and a half before it came out, and
Oh,
it ended up working out in their favor pretty well. Like it didn't seem to hinder sales or anything. They may have hindered it a little bit, which is sort of why they probably released the all digital not long ago. But yeah, there was just like a tease and like a talking heads thing that they did, and it was like it's not coming out until like for another year and a half. Like sit tight, and like that was enough. Like people were fucking jazzed about it. They knew the thing that they were asking about was coming. Like everyone already knows Scarlet's coming. I don't see why they would keep it under wraps. Like they probably have a good idea what the specs are. Like Sony, in a previous episode, we've talked about the PlayStation specs that they've already announced. So I think Microsoft does something similar to what they did for Project Scorpio at the time, and they just say this is what you can expect from Project Scarlet. Doesn't have a name, doesn't have a release date, doesn't have a price. Get fucking hyped, and that's their like and one last thing moment, just like the
right.
One X was 2 years ago and Cyberpunk was last year.
Oh man, Cyberpunk.
Yeah, what do you think about Project Scarlet?
That's what I was expecting. I'm fully expecting the one more thing. Here's 10 seconds of information on screen. Maybe a placeholder image, some kind of logo, something to let you know, hey, this is coming.
Yeah,
But not in any kind of way.
Money.
Yeah, exactly. But don't save up all of it. Still keep there's still more games to buy for this generation.
Yeah, right. And what else we got from the Microsoft conference? There should be some xCloud news, and that coming off the heels of the Google Stadia announce, that could be sort of a showstopper, because apparently the tech's there and they're doing like take-home tests internally with it, and it's pretty far along in development.
It would be very interesting because if they're in another kind of tone-setting moment, if they're going to be making that kind of presentation before Stadia gets a chance to show off their shit in more detail, because they could easily come in and say, "Hey, this is what we've got," and if Stadia doesn't at least meet or beat that, anything that Stadia says in the near future is going to look pale in comparison.
Yeah, for real.
Uh,
Yeah, they're go ahead.
Oh, we kind of covered Stadia in the last episode, so I don't want to retread that completely. But Microsoft's in a good position to, if they feel confident with their tech and with their already established library of games, that they can really cut down Google at the knees with this.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, because like with the Stadia, you sort of have to assume they're telling you the truth when you're testing it out, right? So like similar to xCloud, like do they? And just a brief recap, because a lot of people probably don't know what xCloud is. It's sort of a streaming service that Microsoft's going to have, where it's going to be part of the Xbox family essentially. So you're going to have the same Xbox library. You can just play any of your games on any device that xCloud supports. So you can literally, it doesn't take up any or much of your processing power on your smartphones or tablets or whatever. And it's also rumored to be maybe on the Switch too, which would be wild. But
that would be nuts.
Yeah, but like, do you waste like floor space? Because E3 is a convention. Like you have to have not just a stage presence where you announce things, although some people just have a stage presence, but do you see them wasting floor space on something that you have to just like you can't really see and believe? Like they could tell you that it's being streamed from the cloud, and you could just be like, sure, like it plays fine. Like I'm gonna have to take your word for it though. Like there's a box down there, I don't know what that's doing.
I'm thinking that it's something that'll show up in promotional materials. Just, as part of the video presentations they do, some of the people will be playing in a way that makes it obvious that they're on xCloud, either through their phone or through another device, just as kind of like a, hey, this tech is here and is going to be a part of your general Xbox lifestyle in the next, in the coming fiscal year.
Yeah, I can see, like, if you just have this one marketing image, and like this is assuming that it's coming to Switch as well, with like somebody on their cell phone sitting on the same couch as somebody on their Switch, on the same couch as somebody with an iPad, on the same couch as somebody playing the handheld, they're all playing like crossplay or something, like people are gonna fucking just jizz 4 days.
Yeah, so that'll, I could see that being in there, but yeah, right, I don't think they're gonna actually take real time to call it out. It's not as a I don't think it's something that's going to drive people to the ecosystem that aren't already there.
So any hot predictions for the Microsoft conference to wrap this one up?
I mean, I'd love to say that they're bringing back the classic third-person jetpack game Outwars, which I don't know if you've ever played that. Outwars was great. I think it was like 97. You were in space. You had a jetpack and a glider. You were fighting bugs. Phenomenal game. I'd love to say that they're bringing that back, but that's not going to happen. So
never know.
But that's my hot take. They're bringing back Outwars. They're gonna, for me and my old friend Jeff, who I grew up playing that with, we're super excited for it. We're super hyped. It's gonna be great. And a new Microsoft Entertainment Pack. Chips Further Challenge, Ski Freer. It's going to be great.
All of those announces?
Boy. As part of
that does bring us up to 14.
Yeah. They're digging real far back into their Windows 3.1 developed games. What about you? Any hot predictions?
I was hearing rumors about a new Perfect Dark game. But I think from what I looked into, that seemed pretty baseless. And on top of that, we've already got, two different teams at Rare working on two different games. I don't see a third one because I think traditionally they've also been a one team studio. So I don't think they've suddenly split up into three fucking teams.
Sure.
Especially when they're not the only English studio that they like Microsoft owns. So, hot predictions. I don't know. I think my main one is that they are going to talk about Project Scarlet today, or not today, Sunday, this coming Sunday, June 9th, 10th, something like that. Really out there though. Conkers. I think something Conkers would get people so fucking excited. I think that's like the really out there moment.
And you know what? On the heels of the Crash Insane Trilogy and Spyro remaster, I could see a Conkers or Banjo-Kazooie. Like, here it is. We just basically upscaled it. I could see that
could go very well.
Conkers or Banjo-Kazooie could blow some minds.
Don't forget about Rare Replay though. That exists on current consoles,
but not on PC.
Generation. Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, that would be a cool announcement that was coming to PC, and that was like a Game Pass for PC, like launch title, something like that.
Yeah, if you want to go real out there and you want to claim that they somehow figured out the licensing deals for GoldenEye 64 and got to publish that remake of GoldenEye 64 on the Perfect Dark remake engine that we got to see some canceled footage of a couple years ago. I keep seeing people saying they're going to figure that one out, like that hasn't been shelved and canned. I think if there's going to be any really crazy announcements that mean anything, it's going to come from that Rare nostalgia, like the Battletoads one was. And we'll see something like you said, Conkers or Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, something that would go like a long way and just like sort of jerking off the community. Just like, hey, we remember you guys were kids at one point and somehow you got your hands on Conkers.
We know that you were all kind of disappointed about Yooka-Laylee, and A Hat in Time only kind of helped to foster your need for 3D mascot platformers. So I want to move on to Bethesda.
Yeah, Bethesda.
I like our note on here. Are we seeing Starfield? I don't think that game exists. I think it's
elaborate ruse.
I think that Starfield is like the producers. They're going to get tons of people to buy 10,000% of Starfield as a concept, and then it's just going to peter off. It's going to be like, what's that space, that other space one that's never going to get Star Citizen.
Star Citizen.
Yeah, we got a thing. Don't worry about it. We're real close. We're real close.
It exists. There's people playing it. Look.
Yeah.
Look at this totally real Twitter account.
Yep.
I played Star Citizen. It is great.
This Starfield is a lie. Starfield is just gossamer floating in the air. There's nothing real about it.
This is the hottest take.
I don't buy it. I just don't buy it at all. I think we will see Starfield. I think it will be nothing. It'll be like that Elder Scrolls 6 announcement we got last year. Yeah. Of just like, you didn't show me anything. This could have been footage from Frozen 2. There's nothing about this that indicates it's a game.
I'm just expecting another like pan shot of like some star systems with some like wizened old man talking over it.
Yep.
It's like, do you ever wonder what was beyond? And then that's it. That's it. Like the fucking fourth year in a row.
And then 500 Reddit posts of people inverting and changing the saturations. Oh my god, is that planet in the background there? If you look at the 3 pics, is that Cyrodiil in space?
What? Is this Patrick Stewart's face right there? He's back.
Obviously, they got to hire some actor to be in it for a 10th to an 1/8 of the game. To do that, just a small amount of voice acting for it. Mm-hmm. But we can talk about who that might be for Starfield. I think it's as productive as a discussion as what Starfield might be or is.
Yeah, let's do it. It's Rutger Hauer.
Rutger Hauer could be good. I was going to guess Udo Kier. He's still alive, and I feel like he's probably pretty cheap.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, I have him right here. He's doing my laundry.
All right, so Rucker Hauer or Udo Kier, if either one of them are announced as voice actors for Starfield, you heard it here first, folks.
Man, if that happens and then we get that Reddit karma, we'll be in the 20s of listeners.
I got a hot tip from someone deep in Bethesda, working down deep in the archives, and they told me some pay stubs were coming in for those two. So, really, super double secret verified.
Oh God! But God damn it! So, in all seriousness, do you know? And I don't know anything about Starfield other than it's supposed to be space game with same engine as Fallout and Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, I can tell you right now that there's so little known about the game that the link on Wikipedia just takes you back to Bethesda's page.
Which says?
Which, I mean, just literally the page for Bethesda. Elder Scrolls 6 at least has a link to the Elder Scrolls page. But there's nothing. I think
makes sense.
I really think Starfield almost reminds me of that game, that space game that Notch talked about for a hot minute, like 10XC10 or something. There's probably 8 people who remember that announcement, but just another, let's just basically, what about a Bethesda RPG but in space? There you go. Just do that. Imagine that. Run with it. I can't. I don't really know there's anything confirmed about it other than space.
So here's an interesting thing, and we're not too far into the Bethesda talk. I had heard somewhere a while ago that they were marketing before QuakeCon as like 2019 is the year of Doom Eternal, and like they have their advertising up for Doom Eternal in LA and stuff. Do we expect much more from Bethesda this year other than Doom Eternal? Because last year I think all we got was Doom Eternal and fucking Wolfenstein Old Blood and Fallout 76. Like, that was pretty much it, right?
Yep. I mean, they could show off that VR Wolfenstein game, but I don't think there's anything really to show off there. Like, nothing that's going to really get a lot of hype. We already know about it.
Yeah.
I'm still expecting another Quake-related announcement. That they're going to mine that right? A little more. Either with more Quake Champion stuff, or a new story Quake game, or even a like Quake 1 or Quake 2 remaster. Or
what
remake.
Would a story Quake game look like? Would it look like Doom and Wolfenstein?
I mean, it would just look like Doom and Wolfenstein, yeah. Basically.
I don't think I want that game.
I would take a Quake 1 or Quake 2 remaster, but I don't need a lesser Doom or Wolfenstein.
Well, they announced a Quake 2, well, not a full remaster, but it's like a partial remaster. Did you see that with the ray tracing?
I thought that had nothing to do with them, though. I thought that was a third-party team that did that. Like, I thought that was just a bunch of modders.
They were releasing what they did. No.
Was it really that? Why did I think it was a bunch of modders?
No, because it was at GDC that they showed it. And everyone was like, what? Fucking can't wait till this is out. But it's not the full game. Like, it was like a quarter of the game that they redid with like ray tracing just as like a demo. But then they were like, well, people are going to want to play this. Like, we're going to release it.
So was this like Black Mesa Quake Edition?
Yeah, it does sound like it.
Okay, well, then maybe they'll finish that, and that'd be pretty cool, I guess, for the people who want to... I was very happy to get my Blood remaster. That was awesome, but you can't make money selling old FPSs to me. I don't have enough money to support Bethesda.
No.
And I don't think they have enough old IPs. I mean, because Rage didn't seem to go the way they wanted it to.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the sales figures or speculative sales figures in the digital era.
No, but I don't know. I don't know what Bethesda's going to show off other than Doom Eternal. Like, they have to have more than one game, right? They can't just have a one-game conference.
I know most of our notes on Bethesda sound pretty hostile. Elder Scrolls. Why was it announced? Like, we're definitely not going to see anything on Elder Scrolls this year. They've said straight up they're not even developing it right now. Like,
Yep.
they probably got like 5 people like building assets for a game that doesn't exist. And fucking Arcane, what are they doing? Like, they just released Prey.
Yep.
Are they going to announce something? Like, that'd be a pretty tight schedule, but that's like one of their only studios that we don't know what they're working on.
Maybe. I mean, didn't they do some of the work on BioShock 2? Weren't they partially involved in BioShock 2? Maybe.
Where's this going?
I'm just maybe they're pulling in another FPS, a new IP. Either they're going to come out with something. Maybe they'll bring back Dark Messiah of Might and Magic. That game was sick. You ever play that one?
No.
That was a really fun game. You could kick people off ledges. That's all I remember.
Oh, get hyped.
Yeah. But in the mid 2000s, kicking people off ledges, that was great.
Yeah, man. I mean, Odyssey got a lot of fucking credit for introducing that mechanic, and honestly, there's so many cliffs, like arbitrary cliffs in that game. It's like, yeah, this is actually a pretty good mechanic.
Yeah,
can't believe how many people kick off ledges.
You spent a lot of time running around on like catwalks, and just kicking people off ledges was the way to go. So
that sounds hype.
Do you have any, other than my nonsense predictions, do you have any good predictions for Bethesda, since we can't seem to come up with what they would actually be working on?
Yeah. I think I'm going to sound like a psychopath and say that they're going to announce even more support for Fallout 76.
Well, eventually it'll hit the game that they want it to be. And
eventually.
Yep. So, yeah, oh yeah, definitely more support for Fallout 76. I'm sure they'll show us another roadmap of what's coming up over the next year.
Yep. I think they do start to show off Starfield, and I think that not Bethesda. What's the parent company?
ZeniMax?
ZeniMax, yeah, ZeniMax Studios, which is technically under Bethesda. I think there's something that's not ESO related finally from them, because I have to imagine ESO is starting to wane. Like they're releasing an X-Pack what seems like every like 3 days, and I can't imagine that many people are playing it anymore. So I'm sort of expecting to see something from them finally, like maybe a new MMO. Maybe they're going to try again with the lessons they learned.
That could be cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna blow your mind here with a pair of very interesting predictions. I think in a post Apex Legends world, Bethesda's going to look in their back catalog and see that they were very close to having something that could have worked in this vein, and they're going to bring back Brink.
No.
Brink as a free-to-play, larger scale, broken multiplayer game. It's going to be great.
So just the original Brink, like not even like Brink 2.
Yeah, but with ray tracing, so it'll look really nice. And then to follow up on the on the current trend of remastering games that people have forgotten about, we're getting Wet remastered. Eliza Dushku's going to come back, re-record all her lines in higher fidelity. It's going to be fantastic. Yep. I'm hyped for it.
That has to be happening. 100%.
So that's it. Free to play.
I don't see any other possibilities.
Free to play Brink Battle Royale and Wet remastered. Put those on the board.
Oh God. So, only people our age are going to know this reference. So Wet. What came out when I was like 15?
That game was so cool looking. I was so excited for it.
Oh, I remember. Half the entire premise of the game is that you could slide around on your knees everywhere.
And down poles like a stripper.
Yeah, it was Elijah Dushku's finest moment. All right. Well, I think that wraps up Bethesda's conference.
Yeah, we're not gonna top that. So Devolver next? Yeah,
Devolver next. I'm curious what Raycon's working on, and for those of you who don't know, they had released not Punisher, fucking Ruiner.
Yep.
2.25 years ago, and that was a fantastic game. As far as I know, it sold pretty well. It's a Polish studio, pretty small studio. I loved the game. Please, if you have Game Pass, play it now. If you don't, it's like a $10 to $15 game. Like, buy it now. Yeah, I think that Devolver like is a perfect match for Raycon, and I think we may finally see something else coming from that studio.
Oh, I can't. I don't believe that they're not working on something, because Ruiner was so well received and just generally loved by everyone I talked to who played it. And I really had a good time with it as well. That they've got to be working on something else.
Yeah, I don't know what that looks like. I don't think Ruiner sort of lends itself to a sequel, but I think they could do a similar style game and just like build out sort of like the RPG-ish elements that they had in it, and like the sort of like the crafting.
Yeah, I could see them going in kind of like the Super Hot direction, where they're not making a sequel as much as just making a similarly styled universe game. So we're still in the thematic and gameplay world of Ruiner, but it's not. Don't worry about the story of Ruiner. It's not that. It's not related to that.
Mm-hmm.
But here it is in a slightly different direction. I can see them doing something like that, and that doing very well.
Yeah, I follow their Twitter account. I don't follow many studios or games Twitter accounts, and they're frequently liking these like really aesthetically like pleasing posts and stuff. So like they're active, and I think that they have a style in mind in the direction they're going, and I really want to see what that is.
Yeah, I'm excited for whatever they put out next, and if Devolver's publishing it, by law I have to purchase it, so it'll be which is good, because I'm looking at our notes
Devolver
here.
Pass.
Yeah, I would I would buy the Devolver Pass. I'm looking at their list, because the next one on our list, my friend Pedro, I've been hyped for. I remember sending you gifts of this game like 2 years ago, and
it's hilarious.
Oh, I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited.
I couldn't believe this wasn't out yet, because I remember you sending me gifts of this 2 years ago, and what the fuck's been going on with it?
It was part of their E3 showing last year as well.
Is it the first year that they formally announced it?
Last year was the first.
I thought this was.
Last year, I think, was the first time it was shown in any kind of public capacity for Devolver, other than like Devolver just retweeting the developer showing off his weekly insane gifs of whatever the hell's going on in that game.
All right, so probably expecting a release date on that finally.
I'm hoping that Talos Principle 2 will be great. I enjoyed Talos Principle 1. There's not really much to say about it other than more first-person puzzling is always good.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was announced, so that was also a surprise. Leading up to the conference itself, I'm getting surprised by the things that are already announced.
I'm very intrigued by the idea of a more open Serious Sam game.
Is that what Serious Sam's 4 is supposed to be?
Yeah, my understanding is that's supposed to be a bit more open, and I don't know what that means. I feel like the thing that still distinguished Serious Sam from other games was that it was a very, like, walk into the next area, shit tons of things come at you, and you kill all of them, then walk into the next area. Like, if it's not a wave-based linear FPS, I don't know what Serious Sam is.
Yeah.
I'll still check it out.
Devolver must see something in it, and in Devolver we trust.
Yeah, I do. I will buy it. I really enjoyed the Serious Sam 3, whatever the BFG edition or whatever it was called.
Yeah,
whatever that was. I enjoyed Serious Sam 3, and I heard the VR game was quite good.
I did not know there was also a Serious Sam VR.
Yeah,
so many VR games.
Yeah, and I heard good things about it. It was actually one that I think if you own Serious Sam 3, you could play co-op with someone who owned it in VR, which was a cool idea. Cute. I never tried it, but it sounded like an interesting idea.
I can't wait for there to be more games. Like I want VR to be more ubiquitous, because you can get things like have one person, sort of like the Disarming the Bomb game.
Oh yeah,
you could sort of like you can get one person in a VR headset that is like completely encapsulated in their own world, and like they could essentially be like a dungeon master or something, or whatever a one person over here doing their own thing and then being completely immersed in their own experience, and then like three people on a couch across the room. Like, I want those sort of games. I want VR to be ubiquitous. That's something we should probably circle back to, not this second, but Microsoft and VR.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
curious if that's still something that's like looming, but no announced yet.
No, although I didn't Apple just do a big announcement for their whole VR and um, VR or AR and Minecraft thing?
Yeah, not Google, Minecraft Earth was announced for it as part of Apple Arcade.
Yeah, and it reminded me a lot of that HoloLens demo they did of Minecraft like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, just playing on a coffee table.
Yep.
Like cycling through the world, like just by like swiping left and right and shit. It was very cool.
I think Devolver, to jump back into them, they also have the sequel to, I'm going to get it backwards, Sometimes Always Monsters, which was
Sounds right.
an RPG. Well, because the first one, I'm going to try to get this. The first one was Sometimes Always Monsters, and the sequel is Always Sometimes Monsters.
Oh, those psychopaths.
Or it's the other way around. It's one of those two.
What the fuck?
But the Monsters RPG that came out a couple of years ago is getting a sequel. And I think that's probably going to get shown off this year. Along with whatever fucking nonsense Devolver cooks up for the actual presentation itself.
Oh, yeah, if you guys don't watch the conferences, like, if for the layman or a casual gamer or even a mild gamer, like, go out of your way to watch the Devolver conference. It's just fun. They're going to show you a bunch of goofy games. They're going to show you one or two serious games, but you're just going to have a blast watching it. It's pre-recorded usually, so there's like a really high not high, but like there's an bonus production value when you pre-record something.
Yeah, it's nuts. It seems like the kind of thing that's almost in the late night on Adult Swim kind of weirdly satirical humor.
Yeah, it's like if Super Jail was a conference.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very weird thing, but I would definitely check it out. I've shown it to people who have no real investment in video games, and they still enjoyed the parts that weren't footage of video games.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're only like, I think the last one was like 35 minutes. It's like watching an episode of TV. Like, just do yourself a favor and watch it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
And then I guess Ubisoft is next, right?
Ubisoft's had a weird week because I think Watch Dogs 3 just got leaked with the subtitle Legions.
Yeah, in a post-Brexit UK.
Yeah, which is a really, really cool concept because I really want to see sort of how they imagine like the very obvious like like ramifications of a post-Brexit UK, like how poor everyone's gonna be, not to get political. Like,
yeah, because
the pound has just been plummeting to the ground.
Remember, Ubisoft doesn't want to make political statements with its games where you're in a burnt-out Washington D.C.
Fuck them! Did they really ever say that?
Oh god, yeah.
Fuck
because there was that there was that whole thing where they made that joke of, like, come see what a real government shutdown looks like.
I remember that. Oh, tasteful.
And then they tried to, like, people were getting like, oh, you stop trying to politicize our games. It's just a game. There's no political statement being made in the divisions. It's a game about the government being shut down and political coups and biological warfare between countries set in a burnt out, like, even
how the government has failed us tremendously.
Even if you specifically aren't making the game, is deeply entrenched in the ideas of politics. Yeah. And now Watch Dogs 3 is literally showing the aftermath of a of a very divisive political decision. So I'll be interested to see if they accept that as a political. Oh, it was so. I remember that being so ridiculous with Division 2.
Honestly, like, so many things, and I'm not going to make any political statements, but so many things are politicized these days, like unnecessarily, and that is very clearly like a political stance that they're taking. Like, get the fuck out of here, Ubisoft. Get the fuck. Not even a stance. It's just it's oozing politics. Like I don't know what they're trying to say, but like they're saying something.
But onto the hype side of it, I've been wanting more games set in London or even just European locations, especially open world ones, for years. And because every new GTA game that gets discussed, they always talk, is this the one that they're going to take it back to London? There was always talk of European Assassin's Creed games every time that they were going through them, especially when there was that whole, like, are they going to make a modern setting at Assassin's Creed?
Yeah. The Getaway. You remember that game?
I do remember The Getaway. I was just thinking of that one.
I think about that game every once in a while, and it makes me think, like, where the fuck is this next, like, London gangster game?
No.
Like,
no, it's not gonna.
Like, just watch Guy Ritchie pre-fucking Aladdin, and you're gonna like be like, I want to just play the video game. Like, why can't I do that?
Nah.
Why does every video game developer have a vendetta against me personally for not making this game?
Well, the American audiences have never really shown much of an interest in British gangster movies or British gangsters as an idea. That's never been a popular thing in the US. Never succeeded. So
these fucking Americans. Yeah, never once.
We're gonna. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, I too, like, really relish. Like, I didn't care about Watch Dogs 2 like at all. I was really hyped for one. One really disappointed me. I tried to play 2. I got bored because it was like all the things I didn't really like about Watch Dogs 1 were still like deeply rooted in it, and they just like sort of made a game that was more colorful and upbeat, but also still just Watch Dogs 1 with co-op, to your point from the previous episode.
Yep.
So I want to see like a serious course correction with this game. Like, the setting's there, but that's nowhere near enough. I don't want to see Watch Dogs 3, the sequel to Watch Dogs 2. I want to see Watch Dogs 3, all of the things we were promised with Watch Dogs 1.
Yeah, they'll get there.
Maybe.
I've got a little bit of faith in Watch Dogs as a series, just because it is. There are so many interesting things it's trying to do, and interesting concepts that I really want to believe that they're going to get it this time.
Yeah,
but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it seems like it's just one team working on Watch Dogs at the rate that they're coming out. So I don't believe that they've had that time to just like refresh their hoses and, kick it up a notch like they did with Assassin's Creed Origins when they took the year break.
Right.
One whole year. But like that 1 year went so far away for a game that has like fucking, I think Assassin's Creed has something like 900 people working on it. It's some of the numbers that I've heard. Like, that's why they can churn them out in a year.
Right. Well, I've heard it's a team of very diverse beliefs and identities and backgrounds.
Yeah. I could boot up any Assassin's Creed and it'll tell you that. Yeah, I think those are my final thoughts on Watch Dogs 3.
I'm expecting, just looking at our next note here, that whatever they announce it is going to further disappoint anyone who is excited about Beyond Good and Evil 2.
So they've already said that they're not talking about Beyond Good and Evil 2 this year, which has further disappointed everyone who's excited about Beyond Good and Evil.
See, I find that hard to believe because they've also already told me several times that Beyond Good and Evil 2 was already in development. Over many years, they said it was already in development. So I can't really believe.
I've seen builds of it.
Yeah,
just like demo builds.
Well, they and I don't know how much of the history of Beyond Good and Evil 2 you followed, but they frequently came out, and I can't remember the name of the guy, the name of the head of Ubisoft there.
Yves Guillemot?
Yeah, Yves Guillemot coming out and saying, "Oh, well, if this sells well, we'll feel more. We'll keep working on Beyond Good and Evil 2, and then if this will be even better for and just constantly talking about it like it was a game they were already making, when
Just
clearly
mining everyone's goodwill.
Yeah, when clearly it wasn't anything that they were putting any time into. So I just assume that whatever they tell me about Beyond Good and Evil is the opposite. So I'm expecting a mostly Beyond Good and Evil conference from them.
Well, if they're to be trusted, then you're going to be sorely disappointed. But they should not be trusted with things about announcements, because they've also leaked their own shit in the past. So there's a good chance that they leaked Watch Dogs 3. So like I don't know what sort of game they're playing, but I honestly I don't think that it's a game that's ready to be shown anymore, and I think that showing people will only disappoint them further than the disappointment of them not showing anything.
Yeah, that's probably all that needs to be said about Beyond Good and Evil then.
Yeah. Finally, are we gonna get the Splinter Cell announcement? Because they've been tickling people's balls with it for like 2 years.
I would love another Splinter Cell, but I feel like Splinter Cell is also the type of IP that is ripe to just become another Ubisoft game. Of just, like, basically Watch Dogs but Splinter Cell. You're in a city, going around doing missions. There are also some side missions. There are also some caravans that you can intercept in one way or another. There are also, just another Ubisoft open world. And I'm really afraid of that being the case for the next Splinter Cell game.
I don't think they're dumb enough to give it that treatment.
I would have said the same thing about Ghost Recon.
That's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But I think they finally take a step back and be like, we want to give Splinter Cell like the Max Payne 3 treatment. Like we want like a fucking exceptional like third person.
I'm excited for depressing Potbelly Sam Fisher.
Oh, me too. That'd be amazing. Like, say what you will about Max Payne 3, like the evolution of that character is incredible.
Yes,
one of the best characters in all gaming.
I'm excited for the possibility of a Splinter Cell announcement. That would be great.
Yeah, there's definitely a void in good stealth games, because anytime stealth is brought up, there's like an audible groan, because it's usually just like shoehorned into another game that shouldn't have fucking stealth mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
So like I forget what a pure stealth game looks like, especially in a generation where we actually have like real lighting effects and not like the PS2 Xbox OG era where it's just everything's clearly light or dark, because like the light is painted on the ground and not like actual light effects.
But you didn't like the lighting effects in Manhunter or Manhunt.
Manhunt. Oh god.
You didn't think that those looked really pretty?
Is Manhunt 2 getting announced this year? Yes or no?
Oh, Manhunt 3. There was a Manhunt 2. Shows how.
No.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was somehow even more torture porny than Manhunt 1.
Oh man, can you imagine if Rockstar released a game like that, like an adults only game nowadays? Like even GTA is like so toned down compared to the old days, I feel, at least.
I can't imagine them releasing a game like Manhunt or Bully ever again. Anything even close to that level of really pushing buttons.
Yeah. Bully was rumored. The idea of that franchise is so cool. I would love to see like not Bully 2, but like just rename the game like whatever the fuck the Academy was in that game, just like Dick Slurp Academy,
mm-hmm.
like, and then release that game. Like I think they could do something really interesting and not like so topical.
So then what do we got next on there? That roller derby game.
I keep seeing like the rollerball IP being resurrected for this roller. No, I'm just kidding.
I fucking wish. Yeah. Bring LL Cool J back for that.
Yes, that's take him off of NCIS. Come on, LL, it's your time to shine.
Back into the film business.
Yeah, I don't know. They have to know what they're doing. Like, this is just a rumor. Like, it's not announced, but like a lot of different sources have reported on them announcing a roller derby game, and I don't know what that looks like. Like, they must believe in it. It must be fun. Is it them trying to like dip into the Rocket League pie? Do you think
Well, I
maybe
was
like
gonna
a small
say
team developing this?
it's kind of, I keep seeing people trying to jump into that quirky esports arena. You see companies that try to dip their toe in there post Rocket League, and no one's really making it. Maybe they think that a weird, well produced roller derby game would be a good way to go.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't want to sound like I'm poo pooing it. Like, if I was gonna pick up a quick multiplayer game, it's always gonna be Rocket League, and there's no other game that comes to mind. Like, on lunch breaks, if I'm gonna play a video game at work on the PS4, it's Rocket League. It's nothing else.
Did you ever play Robot Roller Derby Disco Dodgeball?
No, and I don't entirely believe that that's a real game. Nice try, Andy.
Damn. Well, there goes that swindle. No, Robot Roller Derby Disco Dodgeball was a really fun Steam game that was a kind of, you were on rollerblades doing dodgeball or basketball type gameplay in a multiplayer environment. It was weird, but really fun. I could see a game like that, but done by a larger studio with more money and kind of more time to just polish the edges, being really good, because it had some hard edges and it definitely needed more content. But I'm all for weird esports and companies trying to make weird esports.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, just more games where you're just kicking a ball around. Like FIFA's amazing. Rocket League, like keep it simple. Kick a ball around.
Yeah. They
find new and exciting ways to do that.
They did that remake of Windjammers a year or two ago. That was supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah. I didn't play that.
No, nor did I. I was excited for it, but at the time I didn't own anything it came out on.
Ubisoft. What else we got? Assassin's Creed Vikings. I don't think that there's been a hot and heavy leak on this. I think that they've sort of done their own hints towards it. I know there's a Division, like a poster in the Division. It's like something about Vikings, and one of them's wearing an assassin's hood or something. There was a couple other like really like wink wink nudge nudge hints towards Assassin's Creed Vikings. But regardless, whatever Assassin's Creed game is coming up next, I do not think we see this year.
No, that's going to be next year. It's going to be...
Yeah, they said that they were not returning to a yearly game cycle, because I remember being infuriated that Odyssey was coming out a year after Origins, after they had said that they're not going to go back to an annual release schedule. And I was like, these fucking guys got me again. And then they said this, like, at some point this year, like, oh no, don't worry, there's not another one coming out. Like, we're giving it the Ubisoft treatment, where we build another game on the bones of the previous game, and then we feel like we've gotten our money's worth, and then we move on to whatever the next iteration of Assassin's Creed is. So the next iteration probably won't look as much like Origins as Odyssey did, which I'm excited for. And like, a game set in a Viking universe implies that they're not getting rid of the boat mechanics, which everyone just seems to universally like in Black Flag and Odyssey.
Those boat mechanics are great. It was one of my favorite parts of Odyssey. It was my favorite part of Black Flag. I'm still furious Black Flag didn't spawn its own spin-off franchise.
Skull and Bones.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's the same game. It's not out. But...
Yeah, it's not out, and it's it's not a single player game.
That's true. Which basically means I'm never gonna play it.
Yeah. Any hot takes for Ubisoft's more amazing announcements?
Yeah. They've officially announced Watch Dogs Legion.
Okay.
They've announced that it will be announced at E3. So it's no longer just a very, very credible leak. It is now an official announce incoming. But that's all they've said. So there's credit to that. No?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, good,
Yeah.
getting there.
Yeah, my hot takes. Hot takes. I don't. I think Ubisoft is not really been surprising me with anything lately. Like they just sort of stick to what they know.
So you're not going to put your money on like Velvet Assassin 2 or
Velvet Assassin? No, yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they dipped back into the Driver series.
What did Driver evolve from? Driver San Fran.
I think
that was a different game originally.
Was it?
Oh no, you know what? Driver evolved into Watch Dogs, just as Prince of Persia evolved into Assassin's Creed. Yeah. So I don't think there's any way they're announcing a Driver game or a Prince of Persia game, but you know,
yeah, I would love a new Prince of Persia game. I think it's always been the time for it, but yeah, it's not going to happen. I think that I had heard recently that there's a new Grandia game still technically in development.
Was that Ubisoft?
I think they originally published it.
Huh. They dip their toes and everything.
Maybe they'll. Granted, Grandia was back in the Dreamcast. So that's ages ago.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they've also already announced Breakpoint, so I'm assuming they'll just be showing more of that. But yeah, I could see a new Prince of Persia game, the more I think about it, more than like a new Driver game, because there's definitely there's a market for what they wanted to do with it, which was basically just Legend of Zelda, the 3D Legend of Zelda game. So if they really and no one's bothering with that market, they're just like, let's see what Nintendo does next. Wow, that was amazing. Let's wait for the next one and see what they do. And there's a market there. Like, I would play so many different iterations of Breath of the Wild. Why do I have all of this money that should be spent on Breath of the Wild-esque games? Like, you tell me why I have this money, developers.
There's stuff you can do with it as well. There's still more to grow in that Prince of Persia space that doesn't have to be combat. I would love if they leaned harder into just the parkour puzzle solving. That was so much fun.
I think that's the problem, is there's no way they're going to develop like a AAA game based around that concept.
No, but a AA game, something at the level of Grow Home, that amount of space. Because I was playing, Epic recently gave away City of Brass on Epic Store. I don't know if you've ever played that one.
No, I've heard of it though.
Oh yeah, and it's got that whip mechanic where you can whip stuff and pull it towards you, or use to hang, swing around from stuff. And I was thinking just how much fun how much they could do with a whip in a Prince of Persia game. Just adding that one additional way of traversing and interacting with the environment.
Yeah.
It's a shame they don't make those games anymore.
Where's the Indiana Jones game? What happened to it?
There were so many good Indiana Jones games. Why aren't they making them anymore?
Yeah, small wonder.
Yeah.
I guess I could see it more likely to get the Assassin's Creed Chronicles treatment, like a 2D platform stealthy game, except with more like time-based mechanics or something. But yeah, I don't know. Like, where they seem to be pretty hot and heavy on like just AAA games these days, and I don't know what they announce. I don't think I'd love to see a new IP, but like it seems like all their studios are have shit that's announced.
Aren't we getting a new Settlers game as well for Windows? Didn't they announce that at Gamescom?
Settlers? Yeah,
it's one of their strategy games.
Oh, I'm not sure. Not familiar.
Okay. I think that they announced that as well. Either a soft reboot of the Settlers series.
A new Black and White. That's what I want to see.
Oh God, man, I'd play the hell out of that.
What happened to the morality spectrum? Why are there no games with that anymore?
I don't know. Maybe Bethesda showed us just how lazily it can be implemented.
Rogue jabs from the past or the
Yeah,
future.
yeah.
God.
Let's
All
move on
right.
to Square Enix.
Yeah, let's do it. I think so. Doing some research, I'm really only expecting news for two games that are already announced, which I think gives them a lot more space for surprises than most of the other conferences. Because we know the Avengers game was announced 2 or 3 years ago, and we haven't seen shit on it. But that's Crystal Dynamics developing that, who did the all of the Tomb Raider games except for the most recent one, because they branched off and they started doing this Avengers game. So that means that they haven't released anything in 4.5 years. So this game should be well underway.
You'd think.
So I don't know. Like the rumors say that it's like partly like it could be a co-op game with like heavy like single player aspects. It could be pretty late in development. We could get even like a surprise release date. Like nobody, there's not really much concrete information on this either. A lot like Starfield.
Yeah, I've not heard anything about that in ages, other than people asking where it is in relation to E3.
Yeah, and they have themselves confirmed that it will have a presence at E3, which is a really good sign because there's no way they're just going to tease it again. There's got to be something to see. They also go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying I was gonna move on as well. They got that Final Fantasy VII remake going on.
Yeah, I don't think we see much from that. That's from what I've understood that has had the most troubled development ever. I think they shifted the entire development to another team and totally rebooted the whole thing, which means that they're 2.5 years behind schedule.
Yep.
So there was another teaser that came out that was literally like basically them redoing the original teaser because they were like, hey, let's confirm that we're still working on it because people keep asking every fucking day what status is. So I honestly don't think there's, I think there will be something, but I don't think it's going to be satisfying, whatever they show.
No, I don't think it will be. I don't think. I think they're at the point now where they just need to release the game. Like they've done enough pre-release teasing. They either need to show concrete gameplay footage or just release it.
Yeah, and
I,
I don't think it's anywhere near ready for release.
no, I don't think so either.
Yeah, so please look forward to disappointment there, everyone. They also have a new IP that they've pre-announced on a Twitter account. It called Outriders, which, as far as I can tell, is just like a cryo sleep sim. It's some sort of space game. Sounds like the concept's probably kind of similar to Mass Effect Andromeda, which is probably not the comparison they want to be drawing. But it's very much like we've awoken from cryosleep. It's the year 2076 or something like that, which means they can't be that far away. Like they're probably still in this solar system, if we're thinking logically.
Right.
Yeah, so there's just been a bunch of teases. It looked a bit spooky on the Twitter. Could be a survival horror space game, which like there's definitely a void in since Dead Space went sort of haywire.
I wonder why that happened. I wonder who could possibly be responsible for Dead Space not being the the profitable property it could have been.
I'll give you a 2-letter hint.
Yeah.
They have other studios that we don't know what they're working on. Their first-party studios, obviously Kingdom Hearts 3 is already released, but they apparently are releasing DLC for that. So that's going to be forthcoming, which is exciting to me because there's never been single-player DLC, so I don't know what to expect. Probably not Disney Worlds, but more like proprietary worlds, I would hope, not just like arena bullshit or like lazy tacked-on PvE stuff. I mean, the main first party team's got to be working on something. Final Fantasy 15 came out a while ago. The director departed from Final Fantasy 15's DLCs after the fourth one. They had planned to do 6, and the fourth one just came out a few months back after the director left Square like 6 or 7 months ago. But I mean, that means that team, there's no way that team has only been working on DLC for the last like 2.5 years.
No, not at all.
So
Can't be.
So I think Square's WoW. I'm gonna just segue hard into the hot takes. Like, I think we're seeing Final Fantasy 16 this year. I don't know what that looks like, but I think there's, if nothing else, we get the fucking the Bethesda-esque tease, the baseless tease. It's just like, here it's happening. Here's a pretty anime girl, and it'll be in development by the time you have children in college.
No, I love it. I think that's good. I'm going to go in a different direction and say that they're going to go back into one of their purchase studios, going to go grab an old IO property and Kane and Lynch 3. That's my guess.
Yeah, I guess they wouldn't have relinquished that, because they only relinquished Hitman back to IO when they broke up.
Yeah. Or maybe something like another... They wouldn't waste E3 time on another frontline game. Or front mission.
Yeah, front mission.
Yeah, I can't imagine them wasting their time on something like that on a... we're not going to get another Tomb Raider game.
No, Shadow was supposed to be the end of a trilogy, which is like Lara becoming the Tomb Raider, essentially, and she's going to be like a more confident person, but apparently there's going to be some sort of break. What's the studio that did the last one and Deus Ex? Fucking... I think it was just Ubi Montreal, maybe?
Yeah, Eidos Montreal. Or Eidos Montreal.
Eidos. Yeah, Eidos. Yeah, but the Shadow just came out, 9 months ago, so I don't think we hear anything from that studio for a while. Probably at least a year or so.
Yeah, and I'm not seeing any other big things they're going to throw out there.
Yeah, so I think
too soon for another Dragon Quest.
Yeah. Dragon Quest Builders is supposed to be at E3, so I think that's their Dragon Quest presence.
And whatever that Dragon Quest... Yeah, Dragon Quest Walk, that was the one I was thinking of.
Which was announced as Japan only originally, but that... And honestly, I think it's going to stay Japan only, because Dragon Quest is nowhere near as popular over here. But, I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
We got Pokemon Go. I don't think they think that they're going to break into the Pokemon Go market.
And I can't imagine Platinum's working on anything right now that's going to be shown off there either.
Yeah, well, Platinum's doing Bayonetta 3 for Nintendo right now.
Right, so I don't think there's going to be anything that's going to be shown off.
Yeah. So I think that... Yeah, so I think that leaves Square's... There's a reason they're having a conference, and there's no way it's for just the Avengers game and whatever this Outriders game announcement is. Because that doesn't seem like it's going to be a hyper compelling quadruple A game. I think we have to see something monstrous this year.
I would think so. They got to be doing something.
Yeah, because like Final Fantasy 14 has an X pack coming out. Like, that's coming out next month, so it's not like they're going to talk. Actually, it's coming out this month technically if you get early access. So like, it'll have a presence, but that's a very known quantity. So they gotta have some big guns that like they're not even like they've been keeping really well under wraps.
I have no idea what that's going to be though. I can't even begin to guess. Like this is one that I'm having a difficult time even coming up with hot takes for.
I think if I was going to make an illogical guess, because I don't think that Final Fantasy 16 is actually far enough into development that it's ready to be shown, but I still think that that's their big gun. Like, I don't see like why they're even having a conference if that's not what they have in their back pocket.
All right, well then, what is that? Where do we go next? Nintendo?
Yeah, Nintendo. This one should be pretty short because they just had a Pokemon Direct where they announced a couple of Pokemon games. The Pokemon games are also coming out at the end of the year. Metroid Prime 4, which was barely in development 2 years ago, should be fairly far into development now.
They got to have something to show.
Yeah.
Other than that logo.
In 2017, when they originally announced it, they had also said afterwards that it was starting, like they're gearing up to start development. That means like minus 6 months, and then so we're probably looking at like I think ambitiously that Metroid Prime 4 comes out next year. Ambitiously, but you never know. What else? Yeah, I'm struggling to think because they have a lot of games they announced last year that haven't come out yet. The Link's Awakening,
Animal Crossing Switch.
Fire Emblem game, like all those games are still well in development, and are supposedly still all coming out this year. So I have no clue. I think Nintendo's big announce this year, and they don't lean too hard into. Well, last year they went pretty fucking hard, but I think they're gonna announce a new iteration of the Switch, which has been rumored for a little while. And I think that they announce it, and I think they say that it's coming out in a couple months.
You think so?
I've heard so many rumors about it. Like, I don't know if it's necessary or not, but that's never been a logical train of thought with Nintendo.
Yeah, they're. I don't like hardware iterations just because I keep getting burned by them. And that's me personally.
The new 3DS, anyone?
Yeah, the new 3DS pissed me off a lot. So I'm hoping not. I feel like there's still plenty you can do with the Switch. I don't know that it. Obviously, you can always use better hardware, but I think that they're capable of doing more with it. I don't think it's time for one yet.
Yeah,
I just don't think I don't see it as a competitor to other hardware in the same way. They're on a different track.
they could. I think the only way that they successfully do this is with a cheaper iteration and not a stronger iteration. I think they give it the 2DS treatment, and they get Switch into everyone's hands by releasing like $150 version that's handheld only.
That I could definitely see. If they go in that direction, they have to figure out and start making some more, figuring out better how to handle games being weird with their control schemes based on how you have it plugged in.
Yeah.
Because I remember that pissed me off with Let's Go Pikachu, where the only way to not have to use that stupid throwing mechanic was to actually do it in handheld mode.
Yep.
It's the one thing that Nintendo does that really frustrates me with their last 5 or 6 hardware releases is just sometimes your interesting new mechanics aren't necessary for a game, and I just want to play with a controller, and you won't let me, and it's actively distracting from the game and making the game worse.
Yeah, that always reminds me of Skyward Sword, because I loved that game, and then that game gave me fucking carpal tunnel because you have to play it with the fucking Wiimote, and I never ended up beating it, even though I fucking loved it, because it literally caused me physical pain. And I'm someone who's very, very careful with everything. Like, I got ergonomic everything. Like, I don't want to have carpal tunnel like until I'm like 50. And that game was like causing me unnecessary pain. Like, just let me play with a controller, you sons of bitches.
Loved Super Mario Strikers, but it had the same, like, just let me play with a controller. Yeah. You guys make such good games. Why do you intentionally cripple yourselves? I remember hearing this, I never played it, but Star Fox Zero, trying to use the Wii U aiming.
Ooh. I heard nothing but bad things about that game, and that hurts even more.
Yeah, just... they're stubborn in that way that I think is going to hurt them. And I think that if you go into the handheld mode, where now you're going to have games that either won't work because they just, they're designed and you're supposed to play them disconnected, or you're going to rely on the developers to police their own compatibility, which they'll do a shitty job of, like what happened with Hyrule Warriors. That is technically not new 3DS only. But if you don't play it on the new 3DS, you have like a frame rate of 11. I'm excited for Link's Awakening. That was my favorite Zelda game. I'm very excited to play it again. I'll definitely play more Animal Crossing. I'm excited for Luigi's Mansion. Excited for Pokemon Sword and Shield. They got a lot of stuff that I'm excited for. I just don't know how much of it's going to show up as new exciting content at their conference.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know what to expect. I think this might be the year of F-Zero. That might be a cool big announcement. They've they basically just have Mario Kart as a racing game in their total bundle, and F-Zero is a very different kind of racing game. Like even if they released that as like an arcade version, like I would play the shit out of that.
Yep. I could see a Pikmin game.
I hope not, but yeah, that'd be an interesting announcement.
Um, I could also see a couple more Mario sports games. Mario, they haven't done a Mario Golf yet. Like they could bring back Mario Strikers, or that weird Mario 3-on-3 hoops game that was out for the DS.
Oh yeah,
I don't know what Camelot's doing right now, so
yeah, they're not making Golden Sun. That's what they're not doing.
you're never getting that back. It's gone.
No. You know, I was thinking this a Mario fishing game with the two Switch nunchakus. That'd be kind of cool
Yeah,
for like 10 minutes. But I'd like to see what that game looks like, or whatever, like a fully realized version of 1-2 Switch, which was like supposed to be their Wii Sports for the Switch generation. Nobody seemed to really think that was any good, and nobody's still playing it. Unlike Wii Sports, which was like the biggest game of all time, still technically, mostly because it was free, but also like I've yet to meet a person that didn't play Wii Sports. So they need that, like I hate to say it, but that was like the killer app for the Wii. Like,
oh yeah, that was. I knew tons of people that's the only that, and then the one that you got that came with a second controller, like the Wii.
yeah,
Wii Fun Games or whatever it was.
yeah, Wii Arena or some shit.
Yeah, those two games. I knew a lot of people, a lot of them older, who bought a Wii just for those two games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they need that killer family app that's not like they can't keep shucking Mario Party. Like grandma's never gonna want to play fucking mini games with like Bowser and like matching cards and tiles and shit. Like give them like simple archery challenges and stuff. Like that's a family friendly game.
Now, what do you think are the odds of a new Shining game?
I feel like that there's a new one like every 2 years and nobody cares about it.
Yeah.
I know that there was like a mobile Shining game that came out not long ago or was in pre-release.
There was the one for the PSP.
Yeah, I mean a mainline one. I don't know. It's not really a AAA franchise anymore since we've sort of moved away from like bit sprite 2D animation and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
we'll
I know. I just like it is all.
Yeah, I liked them too. I also I remember really liking the Atelier franchise long time ago. And I was like, oh, what's going on with this franchise? Oh, there's 1,000 games in that franchise. They keep releasing them. Huh, I guess I could get back into it. Oh, there's so many. Never mind.
Any other hot takes for Nintendo? My guess is going to be Pikmin. That's my big one that they're going to come back with.
I think Pikmin could be really cool with the controls. I think a big announce, because they just had a Pokemon Direct. I think they're going real deep in the Pokemon already. So I don't think we get anything Pokemon related. I don't see anything Mario related. Zelda came out like 3 years ago now. Like it's not out of the realm of possibilities that we see a Zelda 3D announcement. It really is not. Yeah, I mean, it came out as, I don't think it was a launch game on Switch, but it was like within the first month of the Switch coming out. And so yeah, it's been 3 years, I think. I think the math works out. 26.
I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's entirely possible because like I don't know what their AAA studio is working on.
What's is there? When was the last Fire Emblem game?
Well, Fire Emblem Three Houses is coming out in July.
Oh right, okay.
So that's a known quantity. So yeah, I mean, as far as like dead franchises, Advance Wars, you never know. that'd be funny to see in this generation, but I really think that that's super dead.
What about a Paper Mario?
There was a Paper Mario something not long ago, wasn't there? I thought there was.
I mean, they did a couple of them for the DS and 3DS, like Sticker Star and
yeah. They had like hybrid games too, where they were actually like traditional Mario games, but in like Paper Mario aesthetic.
Oh, like the Mario and Luigi games and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I think we see no less than 3 different games with Mario as the star. So that could very well turn out to be 1 to 2 Paper Mario versions or flavors of Mario. But yeah, that'll be my guess. There's 3 different new games announced that have Mario, and it's none of them are AAA 3D Mario platforming games. They're all like fucking Mario Maker 3, which I don't think is coming out because I think 2 just came out. But stuff like that, just things that you wouldn't expect, not necessarily sports games. And maybe a Zelda, but probably a new Switch iteration. Those are my guesses.
Okay, so not Beautiful Joe 2.
No, that I think is an Ubisoft joint too.
Yeah, I thought so. Oh, not Beautiful Joe. It would just be Beautiful Joe 3.
Yeah.
Oh no, I thought Beautiful Joe was Capcom.
Capcom, that's what it is, because it's in MBC 2 or something.
Yep.
Or 3 maybe. Yeah. So yeah, maybe we see something from Capcom. They don't have a conference presence, but that doesn't mean they won't be on Microsoft stage or showing something on the show floor.
Yeah, they've had a good year, so I can see it.
This will honestly be an interesting year to actually pay attention to E3 through the actual show itself, more so than in the past, because before it's been like Microsoft and Sony trying to nab up all the third party studios that don't do their own conferences, and even some that do, like so you get a lot of like Ubisoft and Square bleed over into the Sony and Microsoft conferences. But Microsoft's conference is going to be like a half hour longer, so it's not like a ton longer. So it's not like they can fit all of the games that the third-party games that Sony would have shown. So we're probably going to see a lot more announcements during the show itself than we would in previous years. So it'll be a more of a steady trickle and keep everyone interested for like the full 5 to 6 days experience. So yeah, okay. I don't know what Capcom shows, but maybe they show that on the show floor. I doubt that's something that shows up on the Microsoft stage.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what else we got? We got some of the other smaller conferences.
Yeah. I don't. Does THQ do a conference? I don't think so.
I didn't think so. No.
Yeah. Well, there's rumors of a Darksiders 4. They'd recently updated Darksiders 2. To fix that the game was completely broken on Xbox. So that's a fun fact. They also, yeah, that's right. They tweeted today that they're going to announce one game every day leading up to the press conferences. So that means that we're probably going to hear about Darksiders 4 before the conferences even start. So yeah, I think that starts on the 5th. So they're going to do an announce on the 4th. So the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th, they're going to announce a single game every day. So I'm excited to see what they got.
That should be interesting.
Yeah, I was looking up what that might be, and since I've already forgotten, but they do have Destroy All Humans was one of them that people were saying.
Really, Destroy All Humans?
Yeah, that was heavily rumored for some reason. I don't know why they'd resurrect that, but yeah, you never know.
I would love to see something come out of Deep Silver Volition.
Yeah.
I know that Agents of Mayhem didn't sell all that well.
No. But they know how to be profitable, and they just need to keep making Saints Row games.
Yeah, and another Red Faction game with building destruction. No, it's... I will refuse to stop. I will never stop carrying the torch for the Geomod. It's a good system, and it just needs someone else to adopt it.
I would love to see a new Red Faction game. So maybe
So
that is number 3.
that'd be great.
Hot
I'd
take.
love it. There we go. Yeah, it's going to be that. It's going to be a new Red Faction game, or Free Space, or new Free Space game.
Free Space. God. Yeah, I don't know what else they're publishing. Honestly, though, they've said they have like something like 50 games currently in development, or 100, like an absurd number, like that they're ready to publish. And they did buy up a tremendous amount of IPs. Like they're basically like the guy that goes to every single auction in the state and like bids a fucking dollar on everything and just takes whatever they can get.
Yeah, they're basically the Christmas tree shop of publishers right now. Yes. You get there and you're like, oh man, Cinnabon cereal. I remember hearing about this. Yeah, okay, I'll try this.
Yeah, oh, it expired 3 years ago. Oh, all right.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, how bad could it possibly be?
Probably causes diabetes. I didn't even know that was a warning label.
Well, you know what? That's on me.
What else we got in the other category? Baldur's Gate 3 pretty much got leaked. The team behind Divinity Original Sin 2, I believe, tweeted out an image that just said, like, had the Roman numeral 3 on it, and then if you right-clicked it and got the properties, it literally said Baldur's Gate 3 logo. So, but that seems like too fucking easy. So I'm like, I don't know. Like, is anyone that stupid? The answer is, of course, yes. But
of course.
Are they that stupid? I really hope not. They have like Mastercraft, the most insanely detailed games ever created are in their portfolio, and then something like this happens. But then again, it's their marketing team. So who the fuck knows?
I think that as far as other big ones, I think that's basically all that I got.
Yeah, who else? So Warner Brothers, obviously another big publisher, and they have Rocksteady underneath them, who has definitely announced that they're not showing any new games this year, which is, again, what the fuck are they working on? Like, Arkham Knight came out 5-6 years ago.
Well, they're still trying to patch it, man. There's still bugs that need to be fixed up.
That's just the PC version, and they cut support on that 3 days after it came out. No need to be melodramatic. It's just a PC game. Yeah, for Rogue stuff out of nowhere. God, I really just want a Sleeping Dogs 2.
It's
fucking game.
It's not happening. We're never getting it.
No, because there's some sort of like free to play online game that's basically like that was the Sleeping Dogs 2 team, and they said that this was their Sleeping Dogs 2, and it just broke my heart, and I try and stifle that thought every day.
Yeah, I mean that was my relationship with Epic over the last 2 years. Everything that they did that I fell in love with, they shuttered to put more work onto Fortnite.
Yeah. Yeah.
That Unreal Tournament game, Paragon, the Fortnite Save the World, just all of it. Just constantly broken from me.
It's the nature of success, man. I mean, look at Valve. They finished Dota and they were like, well, I guess we don't need to make any more games. Like, well, come on, Valve. You used to make so many games. Fine, we'll make a Dota card game. You happy now? No. No.
This is what you get. Is this what you wanted?
No.
Careful. We'll make another Diablo mobile game as well. Get other companies into the same scam of don't dare us to make games, because when we do, you're not going to like it.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was the biggest debacle. Diablo Immortal. Oh, I don't want to get into that.
No.
Yeah, so we should probably wrap up. I think we're pushing 2 hours now.
Yeah, this is a good amount of hype generation.
Yeah. I mean, we've covered pretty much everything. I mean, Sony and EA are going to have no conferences whatsoever, so none of their games are going to be at E3 physically. EA is still doing an EA Play, which is just going to be like people can go in and play the games that they have to show, but all of them are already announced because they're not even going to precede EA Play with any sort of chat or anything this year. Like literally nothing.
Really putting in the work.
Yeah. I mean, they're there. They're alive. I mean, they think that they can pull off the Devolver method. Like, hey, we're just around the corner and to the left. Come visit us or don't. Like, we understand why you're here. But they're like 10 blocks away and you need to get pre-invited. People must be showing up because it's like the 4th or 5th year they're doing EA Play. Neither here nor there.
I guess we'll at least get some good first impressions from people.
Yeah. I mean, Battlefield 6, maybe. Is that announced? Who cares?
I don't know. There's going to be some sort of PC game showcase. I'm sure something will be in there.
Yeah, no clue what that's going to be about. Kind of funny. He's going to do a showcase that's the previous one was really good. It was just shotgun fucking like here's 30 to 60 indie games. There was a lot of them. Yeah, they were just back to back. Like nobody got in the way of showing indie games, which is like was a lot of fun to watch. I don't know how they pulled it off, so shout outs to them. Kind of funny games on YouTube. And it was really entertaining. So they're going to do it again for E3. Excited to see what they got.
Cool. I think that basically covers everything we need to cover.
That's it. My tonsils are sore. I think we can call it an episode.
Yeah, I think so. It just leaves us to thank our wonderful print producer, Dennis.
Dennis Raoul Miel Ford. Thank you. You can expect we should mention that we intended to do Void Bastards today as a showcase, since both of us had played it and we knew this was going to be a long episode, but it was very long, so that's going to get pushed off to our next regularly scheduled program, which will probably be after E3, because we'll probably do another Gab Fest for E3.
Just talk about how many of my hype predictions were absolutely correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
If it's not every single one, I will eat my own face.
If it's not every single one, it's the one about Starfield. I'm putting my money. If it's not everything I said is correct,
I'm not taking that bet.
It's definitely that Starfield is correct.
It's the producers. What a good fucking analogy. That's just the producer. All right,
that's enough.
That's enough. Tune in next week. I think we're gonna try and record on Wednesday. So late after, probably after E3's concluded, you'll hear more about E3. Check it out. All the official announcements and tangible things that really exist and not our nonsense. We'll talk about it then.
Sounds good.
Be sure to like and subscribe and share with your friends. Please keep talking about the podcast. The more, the merrier.
Yeah. Get us any feedback that you've got on Twitter or wherever else you can find us and shout at us in the streets. We love feedback. Let us know.
Yep. You can find us anywhere as Gameoff Podcast, Twitter, Facebook, gameoffpodcast@gmail.com. Don't go to our website. It's not. There's nothing there. And thanks for listening. This has been Brent Langevin, aka Arcadia,
and Andrew Paulo, aka Solid Talker, signing off.
All right. Goodbye.